What is up, John?
What's up, brother? How are you?
Good, man. You look like you are where I want to be. That's all I'm going to say.
I am definitely somewhere you want to be. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You're out of, where are you at again?
We are in Cancun now.
Oh, man, that sounds rough.
Yes, it's a hard life sometimes.
I love it. I love it. Well, I'm not far behind you, man. I think you're going to be out there next week or the week after. So,
Nice.
save some sunshine for the rest of us.
It's beautiful here. You're gonna love it.
I love it, man. Well, awesome. I appreciate you jumping on for us. And
Yep.
I obviously know all about you, and I know what you got going on in the world. And by the way, congratulations on all the awards you guys are winning and platinum clubs, and I see you guys winning all kinds of things this year. So I know all about you, but I'm just going to turn it over to you, man. I would love for you just to introduce yourself to the audience. What you got going on. You are down in one of my favorite states of Arizona. Would love to see you kind of introduce yourself, what you got going on these days, and then we'll kind of dive into what awesome things you got your day running and doing.
Okay. So my name is John Haas. I am co-owner of the Powerhouse team. We work for Guild Mortgage. We do lending. So we do residential lending. In all 50 states. My license and my business partner's license is for the entire state of Arizona. We're branching out to Colorado and Nevada. So you guys are the first to know that we're getting 2 more licenses to make our team a little bigger. This year we hit President's Club, like Justin alluded to. We did 251 transactions, mainly purchase. We stayed about 80% purchase in a refi market, just because longevity is in the purchases.
Yep.
We are out here, yes, in beautiful Arizona right now. I'm in Cancun, been lending for, I've been doing it for 4 years. My partner's been doing it for 6, and we've been linked up since I started the business. So team's growing strong.
I love that, man. So you are really, I love that you're in Cancun for this because you're literally like, I think you actually made a post on it on Facebook yesterday, which I really appreciated because you were showing that you were having fun in Cancun with your family, and yet you had said like, hey, I'm still here working hard for you, which I
100%.
love. It really shows that you can be working virtual and still getting the same amount of service and things done at the same time. So with that being said, I would love to kind of hear first, like, I know you had heard about us for a few months before you got a virtual assistant. You were kind of like, hey, Justin, I don't even know what I could use them for, even though I know we're just busy and I got these goals and internet leads and I got all these ideas. So like, talk to me, like, when did you first realize that you may be interested in needing a VA, or you was like, hey, I need somebody in my business? Where did that come for you and when did you realize that?
So I think it was so I didn't know what a virtual assistant was until I saw someone had tagged me in a post you made, and that's when I started researching what a virtual assistant could do. I think that was, I want to say, because 2020 is like a blur, I think that was the end of like 2019. But I knew at the beginning of 2019, my business partner and I were expanding, and our business had doubled from 2018 in 2019. So I knew we needed help. We needed assistance. That there wasn't enough time in every day to do everything we were doing. The leads were coming in, we were missing them. And that's the one thing I hate is you can have these amazing lead generation funnels, but if you can't get to those leads, it's wasted money, and it doesn't do anyone any good. So I knew we needed somebody. We tried hiring people, $10 an hour, $15 an hour, but they weren't happy with it and they wanted more. Mm-hmm. So then someone had said, have you tried a virtual assistant? Didn't know what it was. They shared a link to a post you did with one of the EXP guys, just about what you offer, what a virtual assistant could do. And I was like, oh, this is all real estate related. And then you said something about, you may not want it for lead generation because you should still do lead generation, but we can always have a conversation about it. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to have a conversation about it. I know I need it for lead generation. Yeah. And I knew that specifically why I needed it for lead generation, right? Been doing it for 4 years, knew how to lead generate really, really, really well. That's how we built our platform, was on lead generation. So I saw the video, was like, all right, I'm going to schedule a call with this crazy dude and see what's going on. And now here we are.
I love it, man. So like, talk to me about your, your evolution. Cause I know probably what you originally thought that you were going to have your VA do on a day-to-day basis may have changed over time, right? Some things probably worked, some things didn't work. Like, talk to me about like what originally did you think that you were going to have your VA solely doing, and then how has that kind of evolved into what they do today for you?
Yeah, so I want to veer off a little bit because I want you a huge thing. The hiring process, like I didn't know what to expect after like I got everything done, reached out to your team, super responsive, always emailing me. It was just text messages to make sure that I was good, ready to go. Dude, the hiring experience, I didn't know what to expect on that. Solid. Like I wanted to hire 3 people. I told them at the end of it, I wanted to hire all 3, like 3 of them. Yeah, so my VA started off. So we wanted him to lead generate in the sense of I didn't want him to have to. I wanted him to warm up leads for us, right? Old leads we already had in a system. We had about 2,000 old leads we'd never made contact with or never did an application. So we started off with him doing data entry, taking the leads off of the lead system and then putting them into an Excel so that I could upload them into a dialer so he could dial. So for the first 2 weeks, I think all he was doing was just data entry, name, phone number, email, because this system we have it was archaic. So it didn't export in Excel for whatever reason. So he literally was just doing that for, 8 hours a day, just, plugging away, doing data entry. So we didn't know he was going to do that first. Then we have a dialing system that we use for him to dial out. And he was just dialing this old list, 2,000 to 3,000 leads every day, just dialing it out. And he was going through rotations. Most of the time you can do like a good dialer does about 60 to 100 dials an hour. So he was doing on average 600 calls a day.
Yep.
He works 8 hours a day. So all he was doing was dialing. And then how we progressed was I found out that wasn't where the money making activity was. I thought that if he could get me one deal out of there every month, that's where it would be. The light bulb and the trigger we did is we put him on the brand new leads. Mm-hmm. He's so quick. It's a new lead comes in, boom, it's a phone call, it's a text message, it's an email. And then all he's doing with us is he's making the warm contact, the first contact, and then teeing me up.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm so-and-so with, Powerhouse, with Powerhouse Network. You're interested in buying a house, blah, blah, blah. Would you like to talk to John? Yes, I'd love to talk to John. Boom. Goes into my calendar, sends me a little, goes into the calendar, puts me in an appointment. I make the appointment.
No, I love that, man. And that's actually what I'm adding right here is a banner right now. And I think a lot of people make the mistake of wanting their VA to make an actual appointment to where it's like, hey, I'm trying to close this person right now, right?
Right.
Sell them our services, and I'm trying to get them to sign up with us tomorrow. And I want them to do a pre-approval right now. And the reality is you just need someone to give you the tee-ups for you to do what you do best, right? No amount of money will ever, I still to this day take some sales calls for our Sphere Rocket company because it can take me 5 minutes if someone can get me the lead. Now, if I had to go find all the leads and call the leads, that's what would bog us down. So I love that you found that. It's not that you need them to go out and close the deal for you. You need them just to get you the opportunity to sit in front of you, which you can do from Cancun.
100%. And that's the thing. No one knows. I mean, unless you follow me on social media, you have no idea that I'm having the phone call from a different country, right? That I'm here with my family. But that's what our VA does. Our VA's name is Dan. He's awesome. I mean, literally, he emails us information. Hey, you have this appointment, name, number, email. I drop it in my calendar or I use Calendly, whatever, if I have an appointment. He's good. He looks at my calendar. And then I tell him, his thing is, I give him free range. I'm like, set appointments. Yeah. I will move things around. If they say I need to call at 3:00, one of us is going to call that person at 3:00. I don't care if it says I'm booked or whatever. If they say they got to call me after 3, we're going to get it done. Your job is to just introduce my name. So when I call, it's like, hey, you talked to Dan. This is John Haas over at Guild Mortgage. Yeah. I'm already credible because someone else has already said my name.
Yeah, no, I was actually listening to training yesterday, and they kind of call it edification. It's basically like you have, when you go into a lawyer's office, the lawyer has more status and more respect usually because their assistant is kind of being the gatekeeper to them. And so it's like this, like, wow, John's got an assistant that was updating him behind the scenes and now he's prepared for me. Like, there's this really cool look at that. And I know for you, like, let's talk a little bit about pay. Like, I don't need exact numbers, but what would you say roughly each month? We won't take into account bonuses or anything like that, but like, what would you say roughly you pay your VA monthly?
I pay $160 a week.
$160 a week. So you
every
are
week
about a whopping $640 a month for a full-time virtual assistant. That's amazing. Now, have you ever had assistants before? Like, talk to us about that, because a lot of people listening might be like, I've never had an assistant, or Justin, I've had assistants before and they failed and I didn't do well. Like, what was your status prior to coming on with us? I can't remember, to be honest with you. Did you have assistants before? Or I know you said 10 to 15 bucks an hour. Like, what would you say the biggest difference between this person and those people?
So, I mean, I talk to Dan every single day. We communicate via email. I mean, sometimes he calls my cell phone, right? We have that real, like, he feels like he's an employee of ours. He feels like he's part of the team, and that's our difference. We've had people work for us, again, $10 to $15 an hour, dialing on the phone. It's not sexy work. It sucks. Dialing it's like the least favorite part of what people do. Dan loves it. He tells me all day, like, just that he's in it to win it. He wants to set appointments. I mean, there's days where he emails me and apologizes that no appointments were set up. And I'm like, yeah, but you set up 3 yesterday. You know, like, you're not going to win every single day, right? And we know that as closers and people been in the game for so long. Like, I've had days where I'm dialing for 8 hours a day and I get nothing. I just get shit on. And apologize. I'm like, hey, we're going to have wins. We're going to have losses. You know, it's just the doing it. But yeah, I mean, we have a loan officer assistant. She's awesome. She does more of the loan stuff. But Dan is the first person I've had where I've trusted to give, like, my lead generation to.
Yeah.
Dude, he's been amazing. But again, the cost effectiveness, right? We had a couple people we tried out for $10 to $15 an hour. Dan's doing it for $160 a week, just consistently. He gets every week. He says thank you, and he just does he does his best. He kills it.
Well, and I think what you bring up is something we talk a lot about, is the double income rule. Is for you, if you have someone at 30, 40,000 a year, it's hard to show them a path to 80 right away, right? It's hard to show them a path to 100,000 right away. So a lot of times they upgrade it within other companies that, you know, usually when you see someone leave a $10 to $15 an hour job, they're going to a more established company, right? That can around longer, that can offer more, right? It's not that you don't want to offer more, and I've been in this position too. They're just looking for more opportunity. But with the VA, when you're talking about a $640 a month person, you can now easily see a path to doubling their income to $1,200 over the course of a year, 2 years, 3 years. And that is what builds that loyalty, because they're like, wow, you can quadruple my income possibly if I hit these metrics, right? Like, it really is an easier path. Now, talk to me when you first got started. I love that you said that you thought that they were going to be doing this, but because you had some systems that needed some more manual things being put into place. Like, talk to me about that pressure that wasn't there, because I know a lot of people, if they had an assistant at $4,000 a month, they would feel like they wouldn't do activities like that to build the right foundation, because they'd be like, did I really just spend $1,000 to manually transfer all that over? So, like, what was your thought process when you're like, wow, I'm doing this manual work, but it didn't probably seem like it?
We were so the first thing we did was we had hired somebody's brother at our office to do the work for us, right, at $10 an hour. It just wasn't getting done. You know, like, I could watch the Excel get filled up, and it was just like, we'd pay this dude like $80 for the day, and there'd be like 60, entries. So it's like one, they were very quick. But when we hired Dan, right, I talked to my business partner, and, we knew exactly how much we were going to offer him without bonuses, right? Like, we have our structure that we give him per appointment if we close a loan, things like that. So he kills it in the sense of things where if he sets an appointment does an application, he gets it. But we look at it as Dan's, his salary is 2 deals. This man can work for us for the entire year. And as long as we can obtain 2 extra deals in 12-month period from the work that he does, he pays for himself.
Mhm.
For us to do data entry, I mean, it was a no-brainer. It was like, hey, now we finally have someone who can do it, and again, it was 2,000 to 4,000 entries where you had to upload a PDF. You couldn't copy and paste it. Like, it was just weird, like the way that the computer system was set up, and he just did it. He was just like, cool, like, we're good. I can just do this. Like, no pressure on us. And I'm literally sitting here every day, and he's just like, hey, I'm logged in. Hey, I'm logged out. Hey, I got to this number. He's just giving us updates throughout the day. There was no pressure for data entry. It wasn't a big thing. Like, it was finally something we could check off of our list. Like, hey, all those leads now, we have them. It's in an Excel. We can do things with it now.
Yeah, no, and I love that you just hit the head on something that we talk about a lot is think small first, which it sounds so opposite, right? Like, we hear all these coaches that are like, think big and think massive. But as real estate agents, when you're looking to get a new product, right, or buy a new service, like, you always get oversold, right? In lending, real estate, we've all been oversold things. And so what we did when we sat down with you is we said exactly what you said. Hey, what's your average commission per sale, right? What's your average, and when we came to the terms of, I only need 2, when we think small first, it allows us to scale when we're talking about virtual assistant pay, because you're able to go, because I can challenge you, right? And that's what we did is go, John, can you get 2 more deals from a person that works 40 hours a week from you over the entire year, not per month, over the entire year? It's almost like a challenge. And you're like, hell yeah.
Right.
If not, I'm probably not a good leader. I can't do that. Like, I always make the joke, I could hire you, John, the worst virtual assistant in the world. You can probably find something that they can do daily for you that will give you 2 more deals to break you even. And then the 35 extra hours a week, even if they're just doing finances for you or just random things. Like, I had one person actually in Arizona, not far from you. Their VA did their 2 deals for the year, and now they have their VA just watch their kids on camera all day while they virtually homeschool. I'm like, what? And they're like, but it's work. It's a free babysitter. And I'm like, okay. But I love that you brought up that point there of that. So now also talk to me. You've had in-person assistants, and now that you're traveling the world, and I see you all over the place. Like, did you ever feel a pressure to have to be in office more when you had in-person assistants that might come in and hang out, versus now your assistant doesn't even know where you're at unless you tell them?
Yeah, I mean, that's where, there's more pressure to be there, right, when you have staff that's in hand, right, because they look at you. The reason I made that post, right, is because I want people to know that I'm here, I'm working, we are working remote. That's the beauty in what I do for a living, is I don't have to be in an office setting. I can be wherever and still get transactions done. And I do lending, so it's all online. And in 2020, as bad of a year that it was, it opened our eyes to remote work, right, where now it's more common to be able to work remotely. But I don't feel the pressure of having to go into the office every day because, my LOA, she works from home now, right? Because it opened our eyes to the fact that she can work remote. We get on a Zoom call every day. We run the pipeline every day, and we go on with what we need to do because it's email, text, phone calls, computer, internet access, right? Same thing. No one knows that Dan's in a different country. He calls, he's got great English. He calls, he sets up the appointment. He shoots me an email. I do my thing. He does his thing, right? We're not, there's no pressure to like make sure that he's working because I see like the leads are coming through, right? And for someone who's got like, well, he's got to work 8 hours a day. I want leads. Dan gets me 2 leads in 2 hours. I've texted him like, hey, you're good. Go ahead and log out.
Yeah.
Like, I'm still going to pay you. Log out. Like, you got me 2 leads in 2 days. Like, we're good. Because again, the worst thing is if I have him dialing and I can't get to the appointment, I've got to cut him off. Like, hey man, like you killed it this morning. Like, you got to go. Like, I don't want you setting up more appointments for me because if we can't make them, it's the same thing. It's just wasting your time and our time and wasting like the lead flow money.
Yeah, no, I love that, man, and that's kind of our next thing that you brought up is culture is key. Like you're not having to worry about like, oh man, I'm gonna make some bullshit task up for you for another 6 hours just so I can say I'm paying you $3-4 an hour more. That's better spent going time off, right? Or hey, go
100%.
family because they're more energized the next day, right? I've seen that with my team. I'd much rather hire 3 more people on my team and let everybody work 6-hour days than I would everybody working 14 hours and then getting paid more. Like, it just doesn't make sense. So,
I think I think you hit, like, I mean, culture for us is a big thing why we built our team, right? Like my shirt says, love and lending.
Yep.
Right. So that's our logo. That's our hashtag. That's something that we made up. I mean, we really do value the love and lending. So Dan's a part of my team. He's powerhouse. He is Dan at the powerhouse team. So there's things like where like he gets every American. I don't want this guy sitting there dialing on Christmas or New Year's Day, right? People are off, and sometimes it's a good time to call. But if we have President's Day off, he's off. I'm always working, but like I give him those holidays because I want him to spend time with his family, And then there's times where he'll say, "Hey, we don't have internet today, or something's going on, dude." Good, because I know that tomorrow when you've got the access, like you're a killer. Like things are gonna happen. People call in sick, stuff happens. But the culture part that we get to is just that we get to involve him in what we do. So when he says, "Hey, I've already got 3 leads today," it's like, "Hey man, like we can't handle anymore. You're good. Like you can log out. Don't worry about it. On to the next one." Right.
Absolutely. So talk to me about a little bit about like, does he do anything else for you other than leads, or is it purely like he's just narrowed in on that and he's become really good at just that one thing for you?
He does data entry still. So we have that same system with data entry. So he does daily data entry first. So when he logs in the morning, he usually says good morning. He does data entry first. And then what he does is he goes into the lead funnel. We've got somewhere in between like 2,000 to 3,000 people into our, we use Follow Up Boss. So he gets in there and he just starts messaging with people. So the way that we have it is, he's the intro, and then I take over. So we have automated text messages that I call automated. It's Dan.
Yeah.
He to just someone saying, "Hey, Justin, saw you're interested in a house, whatever." Our little intro. If they respond, then it's me.
Yeah.
And I take over, right? So he doesn't have to do anything, anything too extraordinary. He does data entry, lead generation, and then we just have minimum expectations, right? If he gets to 2 or 3 leads in one day, and he still wants to dial, he can. But again, we usually tell him, "Hey, if you can get these and we can get appointments set up, you're good the rest of the day," because I don't want to just have busy work for you to do. I want it to be productive. And if he's productive in 3 hours, good for him.
Good, yeah.
To me, that is amazing. If you can slam out and get me 2 appointments in 3 hours, you get 5 hours to be with your family, do whatever else you want, because to me, that's the win.
I love that. And you also hit on another point now is you don't need fancy tech. Like you're still using that same funky system, it sounds like, that you could go and probably spend a lot more money on to get some more technology. But I think agents go and sign up for, and vendors especially, we all go sign up for this $100 product here, this $400 solution here. And we've been sold this because the average person in our industry does not have assistants. So when you have assistants, you can do things that don't need all of this crazy fancy technology. And so that $500-$600 in subscriptions for the fancy connection here, or the CRM that has an Excel download, like you can replace all of that and get somebody that could spend an extra hour to actually do it manually, and then you get 39 hours of their time back.
Yeah, that's exactly what we're doing, right? We have this cost that our lead generation funnel is only $250 a month, but it generates roughly 250 leads a month, and then they're just in PDF form. Like it's an archaic system, and they don't have anything fancy. They just generate low cost leads. Dan exports them into an Excel that we can see online. It's a Google sheet, so I can see it every day. I can pick and choose. If I want to dial some, I dial some, because again, I still dial because it's part of my business. I'm getting 2 times the amount of dialing, right? If I dial for 2 hours a day and Dan dials for 4 or 8, there's times where he's logged in all day just dialing, just hitting the phones, then that's 10 hours in a day that we dial, or 12 hours if I do a half day, right, of dialing.
I love that, man. Now, I would love to bring up something, if you don't mind. I think a lot of people, they hear about our company structure, and they learn a little bit more about how we charge people. They think that it's a myth, that it's false. I've been accused of that before. Have I ever charged you since day one after you signed up?
No.
I love that. So what you're telling me is we have no upcharge, nothing on the ongoing. You basically are now just paying your VA directly about $7,200 a year for that full assistant.
You guys, you never, during the process is when you guys would reach out like, hey, I paid, I did my thing, right? Boom, we're getting you somebody. And it was like email, text, like I was getting, you know, whatever, all forms of communication until I got someone hired. And then after that, it's like, hey, how's it going? You want to jump on a call with Justin? You know, it's nothing about selling. You've got I think it's like 4 times a week. We've got these masterminds where we're just question and answers. People just hop on, add value to one another, like as a community. Right. But yeah, you guys have never reached out to try to upsell me. The only thing that you said when I was done, when I said I wanted to hire 3 people, is you said, let me know when you want to hire your next one. Your thing was, you tell me and I'll be ready to help you.
I love it. I love it, man. Well, before we jump off here, I first just want to say thank you. And just a reminder, guys, John's down in the Tucson area, but it sounds like you can do pretty much anywhere in Arizona if it's the right deal. It sounds like you got Colorado, Nevada coming up here soon. Where can people best reach out to you if they want to ask you any questions about VAs or about hunting or about any of the above?
So Facebook, Instagram, I think Facebook's at Haas. And then Instagram's at John Get Tos over here.
Love it.
Yeah, because I get to do things with my my family, my little baby boy.
I love it, man. If you guys don't follow him just to watch his little baby boy and all you guys got going on, I think it's a shame.
Yeah.
So, I love it, man. Well, awesome. Well, I'm going to let you go enjoy that sun. You're probably on the same time zone as me right now, I think, or close. So go enjoy you some beach, man. I appreciate you jumping on. And, yeah, I know that you're getting some appointments right now while you're sitting on the beach.
Huge value. I mean, I'm seeing my email on the other side. We're getting appointments right now. I'm not doing anything. I'm been on a call, and he's already said 1 appointment that I got to call. So, I mean, this is what it's about, right? Leveraging our time and the benefit. Like, we're highest and best use for me is closing the deal. Highest and best use for Dan, set the appointment.
I love it, man. I love it. Well, much love. I appreciate you jumping on, and go enjoy that beach, man. Peace. Hey guys, Justin Nelson here. I just wanted to give you guys more information on where you can learn more about our services. If you want to learn more about our virtual assistants, you guys can just check in the links below in the description to learn where you guys can go and schedule a call with our team to learn all about what a virtual assistant can do in your business. And if you're looking for social media training, same thing below. You guys can go below and check out the links to our social media training, the latest and greatest things that we're up to. We'd love to have you a part of our Sphere Rocket Elite social media training, or we'd love to obviously help you find a rock star virtual assistant. With that being said, before we end the video here, make sure you guys like, make sure you subscribe, and we will see you guys in the next video.